What's going on, everybody? Today, coming to you live from the front porch. I got a little idea running through my mind right now. I was taking a shower earlier, a few minutes ago, and I was thinking to myself how, in order to get what you want out of life, you need to be giving people what they want. You need to be the source of somebody else's acquisition of the thing, of the feeling, of the service. That's the only way to get what you want. When you realize that in order to receive, you have to give, and you change your mentality from, as John Kennedy says, roughly, ask not what the country can do for you, ask what you can do for your country. It rings so true to every aspect of your life, where you're not rewarded for selfishness. You're just not. People don't reward selfish behavior. And if they do, it's reluctant. You don't want people to be reluctant when they give you what you want. You want everybody to be on the same page. Have the understanding that nobody's being taken advantage of here. That can be said for every part of your life. If you apply that way of thinking to your business, to your home life, to your relationship with your friends and your significant other, to the people you meet on the street, all of these relationships, all of these encounters will be more fruitful for you and for the other person involved, because when you are the source of somebody else's happiness, when you can help somebody else feel good, let's just call it feel good. If you can help somebody else feel good, you're going to be valued in that person's eyes. So if you go through life thinking, I want all of these things, and I just need to get all of these things throughout the week, throughout the month, throughout the year, throughout the decade, and then I'll be happy. Once I have all of these things, I'm going to get happy. I'm going to get to a point in my life where I feel fulfillment. If you instead approach it like you wake up and you ask God, you ask your deity what you can do for other people, what you can do to serve others, you'll find that there's a magic that starts to happen when you go out and you do these things for other people. When you become a servant, it's called servant leadership. When you do something of your own volition to help benefit somebody else, if you do that in a leadership position, people are going to value more of what you have to say, and they're going to respect you more. And if you're not in a leadership position and you practice servant leadership, where you're a servant to others to help other people get what they want, you will go from not a leader to gradually becoming one, simply because of the interactions that you have and the quality of those interactions you have with strangers, with anybody on the street, with your friends, with your family. So, in essence, being selfish it's not long-term. It's not going to provide you with long-term positive results. You might be able to scrape off another $100 on this transaction here, or do this and do that, and pocket some more money, doing something maybe in the gray area below board, or you can keep it all above board and provide other people that thing that makes them feel good. You are no longer being selfish, and instead being transparent. Don't do it in an insincere fashion, though. Don't go out of your way to be insincere with this agenda that I'm going to do this for this person so that tomorrow they do this for me. It's okay to have an agenda to a degree, I think. But the selfless devotion and the selfless giving to others, with or without an agenda, will give you great feeling of joy and of peace with yourself. And I think Wayne Dyer puts it, you can't give others what you don't have. So take inventory of what you do have and then go give some to somebody else. I think that's a great way of looking at life, and I think that in helping others, like I said, get what they want, They're going to feel inclined to return the favor when they can. They're going to think of you when the time comes. Give somebody the platform. There's some thunder out here today. It's great. Give somebody else the platform to speak about themselves, almost brag about themselves. And I like to think of it this way. You know, if you have this recurring thought where you're like, man, I should pick up the phone and call Paul, and you know, you haven't seen Paul in 5 years. You graduated from high school with Paul, but you never called him and checked up on him. Paul's still doing well. He's still alive, still got a heartbeat. You should give Paul a call. And the reason for that is, one of many reasons would be that I think there's no such thing as an original thought. I've heard that somewhere before, and I think that it rings true. That if you have the idea to call Paul, the odds are very high that Paul has had the same idea in the last 5 years that you haven't communicated with him. The odds are very high that Paul has the same thought, or had it at some point, where he was like, man, I wonder how Steve's doing. And, you know, Paul just didn't get around to calling Steve. And so now, Steve, you're in this position where you haven't spoken with him. Give him a call. Give Paul the call and talk to him. Touch base. Ask him how things are going. Ask him how his life is with his family, with his new kid, with his new job. You know, surely you're not in the dark about everything in his life. And if you are, then just tell him, hey man, I just want to check up on you and see how things are going. Because when you show somebody that you're sincere in your approach, and that you really want to know about what their life is like and how things are going for them, they feel important. You want to make somebody feel important, because it comes back to this selfless giving, this servant leadership. If you can make somebody else feel important, because that's all what we want at the end of the day. We all want to be recognized. We all want to feel significant. We all want to feel important. If everybody wants the same thing, but no one's willing to compromise, nobody's willing to make the phone call. If Paul and Steve both want to make the phone call, but they don't, then nobody wins. So if you realize this, if you're one of the people that can catch on and understand that in order to get what you want, you have to give, you give Paul some of your time when you call him, and you lend him an ear, and you practice active listening. You engage with him when he's talking about things, and you write some notes down about him, or whatever you need to do, so that you can make another phone call to him in a month or 2 months and touch base and see how things have progressed for him in a positive way. And when you do these things, you're making yourself, again, that source of enjoyment and fulfillment and joy and happiness. Fill in a synonym for the other person. And that will make you invaluable in exchange, because you get so many of these interactions under your belt. People see it in your face. They see it in your eyes. They feel at ease when they're talking to you, and they feel comfortable in your presence. They even feel like they want to seek out more of your presence. They want to seek out more of the time to spend with you, because you make them feel significant. So if you have the understanding that everybody wants the same thing, you help other people get what they want, your needs will be met. That's what I got for today, folks. Thanks for listening.